Hello, welcome YouTube. This is Sam Hansen with Discus of the Southwest. Bringing you some more video here of our Discus here, and while we're watching this video, we'll talk about different filtration options commonly found on Discus tanks. Probably the first option is the sponge filters. Sponge filters, very versatile, can carry quite a bit of biological filtration. Some mechanical filtration, and otherwise just real efficient use of space. Been used for years. In a larger tank you may need 2, maybe even 3 of them. Smaller tanks probably get away with 1. Downside to sponge filters is you are limited with your mechanical filtration options. Also, it can only handle just so much biological filtration. For the most part though, pretty reliable and capable of sustaining quite a bit of biological filtration in them. There's the puppy in the background. The other options is hang on the back options. Man, the hang on the back filters I like. I've used them quite a bit in the past. Haven't used them in a few years. I'm going to date myself a little bit. Probably the last hang on the back filter I used was a Emperor from Marineland. Worked out pretty nice. Was able to filter quite a bit of water, up to like maybe a 65-70 gallon tank or 75 gallon tank. It worked pretty well. You are limited on your biological filtration, the biological amount that it can sustain and keep alive. Also, the mechanical part of it, it's just got the little most all your hang on the backs have the little filter cartridges. One of the reasons I like a hang on the back is it's super simple, super easy to replace or clean. You just pull them out, either clean them or just pull them out, throw them away, replace them with a fresh one. Anytime it's easier to use, heck, you're more likely to do it. And I like it. If it's easy and you're more likely to do it, then I'm for it, because you're just probably a lot more likely to actually use it. Also, they usually have a little bit of activated carbon in them. Not too crazy about that. The activated carbon just seems to deplete and diminish its performance real quick. So what I did is I just used these little cartridges that you could open up and put whatever kind of filter media you wanted to in those. And I just put some poly fiber in it, close it back up, pop it back into the hang on the back filter, and keep on going. I could probably get away with not pulling that out maybe every 2 or 3 days. Pull it out, throw it away, replace it, put it back in. Just made it real nice and handy. What I've been using in the last few years though is not a sponge filter, not a hang on the back. I've been using a sump filter for the last few years. Sumps, just real flexible, can be very large compared to, you can hold a lot of water in them compared to the volume of water in your tank. They're just a lot more versatile. I've been using them in the past, here lately, mainly just because I can get a whole lot of filtration out of a sump. Having like 30 to 40, 50 gallon sump. Just load it with biological media. I use Biobel. Biobel is, you can put it in your sump and it'll conform to any shape of your sump that you have. You just need a little bit of, some sort of pre-filter or mechanical filter in it, set up on it. You do that pretty easy. You can either use a filter sock or make your own little filter box. Load that up. And then all you have to do is drop a pump in it. You can put your heater in there. You don't have to worry about having a heater in your tank with your fish. It's just so versatile, so easy to use. And that's what I've used in a while, or for the last probably 10 years. Before also I used a canister filters. Canister filters, man, those things they could filter a lot of water. There's a lot of good things about canister filters that I really like. A couple, 3 things that I don't really like, but what I really like about them is the versatility. You can load lots of different kind of mechanical filtration in them. Also biological filtration. You got a lot of options there, whatever you can put in the little trays that they have in them. And they can process quite a few gallons of water. Quite a bit of water can be run through them. So in some cases that can be good. If you don't want a lot of flow, might not be so good because you can't really regulate the flow that's on those. But canister filters can offer vast array and very, I guess, it's very high degree of flexibility in the canister filters too. What I don't like about canister filters is the ease of cleaning them. I mean, you got to turn it off, you've got to unplug it, open it up, and then disassemble it, take out all the little trays, clean them, do whatever it is you need to do with them. Replace the media, replace the biological, replace the mechanical filtration. Then you got to basically put it all back together. They're great if you're only, you can get away or only need to crack and open these cases up maybe once a month or every couple of weeks. But if you have to open that up once a week or twice a week, it sure can be a pain in the butt just because you got to take it all apart. And then you got to make sure everything seals right, goes back together good. Then you turn it all back to get on. Then you got to check for leaks and stuff like that. It's just harder for me to do maintenance and maintain those things. And anytime it's harder to do maintenance on something, you're less likely to actually do it, I believe. It's just for those reasons only that I don't really like a canister filter for my own personal use. Discus are very messy eaters. You get a lot of food spread out in the tank. A lot of it's going to get sucked up by whatever filter you use. If it sits in there for a week or 2 weeks at a time, man, you just got to ask yourself, all the clean water that you're pushing over fecal matter or uneaten food, is that going to be good for the fish? Is that going to keep the water the cleanest? That's the only reason I don't really like the canister filters. It's just because you're less likely to be in those things every day or every couple of days to clean those out. Whereas a sump, at least the sumps that I have, I've just made myself. I just take a bucket, put some biological media in it, put some mechanical filtration pads in there, turn it on, let it go. Whenever I need to replace the mechanical filtration, just turn the sump off, or even do it when it's running. Just pull it loose, replace it. You're back up and going. You don't have to take anything apart. It's just all right there. I make all my own sumps. I don't buy a sump, but I just basically use a bucket with some mechanical filtration, some biological filtration in it, and a pump and a heater. That's all I use. Just a few seconds, I'm going to have you take a look at one of my sumps that I've built, that I use on basically 120 gallons of tanks. And the sump itself is about 20 some odd gallons of water in it. And it's really handy, really easy to use. In fact, let's go look at that right now. Okay, so this is one of my sumps that I have on my rack of 4 tanks. I have 4 30-gallon tanks in a rack, and I use one sump for taking care of all 4 of those tanks. Now, lots of times on the videos they show you pristine, nice, clean, everything's already nice and perfect. This is my sump. I've been running this for about, I guess this is a day and a half on this filter media in here, and all I've got in here is just it's just polyfiber or polyfill that you use for making pillows, and it does a real good job for me as far as your mechanical filtration. It's been running for about a day and a half, and it's pretty gunky, and I need to clean this, and I'll just show you how easy it is to clean this. Now the entire sump is just, I don't know how easy it is to get. It's kind of black and it's a dark room in here, but it's just a Rubbermaid tote. It's 27 gallons. It cost me about 14 bucks. I put some biobel in it for my biological filtration. Put a little storage container. It's a clear storage container that I bolted on the side of the tank, or the side of the tub, and that's my mechanical filtration. And my water comes inside of here, gets filtered out there, and then inside goes through the bottom. Me and my kid drilled holes in the bottom of this tub, and it goes into the rest of the sump with the biobel, and that takes care of my biological filtration. I've got 300 watt EHIM heaters and one 250 watt EHIM heater that heats everything up. And I've got a pump here that pumps everything back up into my system. Real nice. It's a fairly low flow. You can see I don't have a lot of flow in here. It's probably someplace around 300 gallons per hour, but it keeps my tanks water circulated around just fine. Here. Place this up here. Hope we don't get too sick. We're bouncing the camera around. I'll set this here and I'll clean this out real quick to show you how easy it is to clean this. First I have to find a polyfill that my wife has hidden from me. Okay, and turned off the water, just about to got the water flow stopped here. So I'll reach in here, pull out the polyfill media that's bad. Straight into a trash can here, try not to drip water everywhere. There's a good part of, here's all the polyfill out. Do here's replace it, just shove some back in here. Not terribly exciting, but it is easy and quick. Anytime it's easy and quick, you're more likely to do it. The more likely you are to do it, the cleaner your water is going to stay. Probably use way more of this polyfill than I need to, but it's super cheap. We got it on sale. It's like $4 or $5 a bag, and a bag lasts about a couple of months. So it's pretty cheap to do. There you have it. It's already clean and clear. Ready to turn back on the water. And the filter's back to being clear and clean again. And the flow will get back started, but you get the picture, how easy it is to clean that out. Sumps to me is just, for this reason alone, super easy to keep clean. Very economical. You don't have to have anything super fancy, just a tub with some water in it, some biological filtration, some mechanical filtration, some heaters, and a pump, and you're ready to go. Anyway, YouTube, if you have any questions or have what you feel like is the best filtration system for Discus, put in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do some more updates, talk about heaters and how to keep these tanks hot and warm for their fish, and just like to know what your take is on what's the best way to filter these tanks, what the best options are. Always like to hear from everybody. Here's another video of some the fish in this room before I go. Yellow pigeons. The lighting isn't exactly as great as it could be, but there's a red pigeon. Subscribe, leave your comments. Like to hear what you guys think. What everybody in YouTube land likes for their filters, what they think is the best one. Tell us about your favorite filters. Anyway, this is Discus the Southwest. You guys have a great day.